Alright, so last time I did a video like this, I think I had about 65 to 7K through this thing. I know I'm at about 81 now. Shooting this thing a lot. Had a few hiccups. Nothing crazy, nothing like the gun went down all the way or anything like that. Just had a few like light primer strikes and shit like that. It's pretty common, I guess, with this AK. But it's nothing crazy. You just, you know, you rack it, push out that round. Shit, you can even recycle that round if you wanted to. It's pretty simple to get the gun up and running again. Just want to kind of show you guys the wear that's been that's happened since then. All right, so the step that I was complaining about before, when I had like a 45 through it, the step has not moved at all since then. This bolt looks, there's nothing wrong with the bolt. Yes, it is a little dirty, but nothing wrong with the bolt. A little bit of chatter on there, shit like that. But the firing pin's starting to get a little peened at the back of the firing pin. I mentioned that before, but it's not fucking with the function of the rifle. So if it ain't broke, why fix it? You know what I'm saying? I got myself another firing pin in case that does go down. It's not that big of a deal, at least right now, but I have a backup. With that being said, the splash on the back, that's completely from my ALG. That's just completely from my ALG, and it is just what it is, you know. Everything else looks good. The channels, all that good stuff, everything looks good. I had to knock off a lot of the carbon that was on the end of this piston. It was a lot. It was like at least like a 1/4 inch of just carbon sticking off the top. I took a razor and just kind of went around it and got all this shit off it. Of course, once you fire it, you're never really gonna get it fully clean again. At least that part. It's really dirty. All right, so that step that's in there, right there, it has not moved at all. There's nothing else that's showing wear. I mean, you got the extractor right here. I'm sorry, I'm not 100% sure if that's what it's called, but I do know that either that's an ejector or an extractor. I guess that'd be the ejector. So, but yes, that's got a little bit of wear finish on that, but obviously you get the steel rounds bumping up against that, kicking them out the side. The trunnion, everything looks good. All the rivets are good, and like I've said before, I have not been too nice at this thing. I do have one complaint, like I'm always complaining about, and that's the stock, the wobble in the stock. You know, I just keep tightening it up, and you know, and it works good for a while, but it does come loose, especially whenever I sling it. Whenever I sling it, I notice it gets loose. But it doesn't get like crazy. It stops right at this point right here. Like I've never really had it where it's like fucking about to fall off and shit like that. I just want to kind of talk about other AKs that I previously owned and my friends' AKs and shit like that, and how this thing holds up against them. So I will say, I think I mentioned this before. Now, after throwing this thing in the mud and water and all that good stuff, it cleans up good. I have had AKs to where I've done that, and I could not get the rust off them. The finish that they did on this is really good. Really, really good finish. Super high quality with this Palmetto State. But with it being American made, it should be like that. You know, they should have a better finish, I think, than Comblock. You know, we have better materials. I fixed the lever. I think I've already mentioned that before. I can't remember. I fixed the lever on this, so that way the retention on it's much more great, so it's not flopping up and down. But the reliability of this thing is great compared to the other AKs. You know, people were talking shit, you know, like sell it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I get exactly what they're saying, you know, but I'm not going to pay over $2 grand for an AK. Like, if I'm gonna pay over $2 grand, I'm gonna get myself a badass AR. That's just me personally. I love AKs, but this thing's working just good. And if it doesn't work, like I've said before, you know, I'll just have it warranted. You know, I'm not doing anything crazy to it. I'll just have it warranted. I'll throw all the regular shit back on it, send it in, get a new one, and then I'll sell it if that's the case. But I don't think that's gonna happen, man. You know, I've gotten this thing really hot. I've did a lot of running around with it and stuff like that. It's had plenty of moments where it could have broke and it didn't, or catastrophic failure, you know, but it just didn't happen. That just goes to show you the quality of this AK. I don't get why people beat, I mean, I can't understand why people beat on PSA, you know, before their Gen 3. But they're Gen 3 on up, man. You know, they're, yeah, just like any other AK, you know, you're going to get some problems. You know, you're going to get some AKs that aren't, you know, their QC is fucked up. But, you know, you're also going to get good ones, too, on top of that. You know, that's with any line. But PSA, you know, guaranteed lifetime warranty, you know. So, with all that being said, you know, take from that what you will. I would recommend this rifle, 100%. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good gun. My gun is good, and I have not seen anybody else saying that their gun isn't good. And if their gun isn't good, which I have heard, you know, like little problems going wrong, not really with the functioning of the weapon, they fix it. You know, like for instance, like the tail end of the bolt carrier, you know, peening on me, and like they want me to send it in. You know, they're probably gonna give me a whole new bolt carrier. That's not an issue. I wanted to keep running the same parts to see how long it would go. And I'm already almost at 10,000 rounds. I mean, that's a pretty good life out of an AK. I mean, to me, it's pretty good. And it does not show any signs of where, oh man, like the trunion's about to give, you know, I'm about to shear a lug, or, you know, the ejector's about to, you know, get all mushroomed up and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not happening. You know, it's proof right here. It's proof right here. You know, and the guys who say that, you know, you haven't fired that much rounds, you know, that's bullshit. Cool, dude, think whatever you want. Like, that's awesome. Like, I shoot all the time. You know, take my word for it. You know, I got the wear right here showing you guys. I don't know if you can't do the math. I don't know what to tell you. But the gun's running. And that's all that really matters to me, is that the gun runs and it does not break on me. You know, so that's all I buy, you know, is whenever I go to buy a weapon, you know, I make sure that the weapon, you know, is going to function right and shit like that. And I did my research, and this weapon, you know, is functioning right. This is 1520, serial number 1520 on this. So, I mean, that's a little up there. You know, I've kind of watched what people had to say about it. Not grand thumb. I kind of watched what people had to say about it. And, you know, everybody loves it, the AK103. Now, the AK-74s, it's a little bit different. You know, they went with the Thin bolt, the bolt. So they kind of fucked that up with the channel and the firing pin and all that. But I think that they can redeem themselves. I think that they will. And for the Americans, you know, I think that we'll eventually get it right. And I feel like this rifle right here, you know, is pretty much right. Yes, a few problems like the stock and, you know, the step, but honestly, it's not even really a problem. It's just it just wears different. Everything wears different, you know. It's like you get a Glock or you get a, you know, XD, you know, I guess they wear differently, you know, everything wears differently. It's made differently, but it's working, you know. I don't want to keep repeating myself. It's just people don't seem to get it, and they're like, you know, you should sell that piece of shit. And I'm like, dude, it's not a piece of shit, you know. Like, it's shooting great, and honestly, the barrel is fucking awesome. Like, I can make like really good shots out with this guy. You know, it's all depends on the shooter. Yeah, you need to practice, but you know, the gas is just right on it. It's not too violent, and it's violent enough to where, you know, it clears malfunctions. So take from that what you will, guys. I think this thing is good to go. I think it's gonna keep going. I was kind of busy the last few weekends. That's why I haven't put out really any videos. But I'm gonna continue shooting. I'm gonna try to put another 500 through, at least 300 through this weekend, and I'll record that and any malfunctions, blah blah blah. But all right, y'all, be safe out there, and let me know if you guys you know, have the AK103, and if you guys are having any problems with it or whatever. But be safe out there, and God bless.